I've provided council with a full rundown, as I normally do with the highlighted sections where we've seen changes. The Osborne Median project, the dedication ceremony has been postponed until sometime in November due to Hurricane Helene, which is the one we just went through. That doesn't take into consideration what we're dealing with now. Public Works, we're still working on staffing levels there. Our police department, the cadets are in their final 2 weeks of the academy. They're slated to graduate on Friday, October 18th at 10 a.m. Graduation will be held at Three Rivers Church. This Saturday, October 12th, Horse and Cattle will be hosting an all-you-can-eat spaghetti fundraiser for the K-9 unit. The fundraiser is from 3 to 7 p.m. St. Mary's Police Department answered 2,914 calls for service, conducted 1,009 security checks, and conducted 287 traffic stops. Go ahead, Mr. Riley.
I was going to ask at the end, but if you're ready, go ahead. He's ready.
One for sure.
One for sure.
One for sure.
That's good.
And that's
Gotta advertise this so we can
littering
make it
citations.
effective.
Our fire department, our average response time for fire calls is 4 minutes and 1 second. EMS calls are 5 minutes and 16 seconds. Over the 24 hours of Hurricane Helene, they answered 58 storm-related calls during that period, for a total of 319 calls for September. In our inspections, our building inspections, they had 453 inspections, 67 our ENS inspections. We hope to be announcing in a very short time the grand opening, if you will, ribbon cutting or dedication or whatever we're going to call it, for our Commerce Park in the next couple of weeks. JDA is heading that up, so we're excited about that.
Robbie, could I jump ahead about the, I'm kind of lost where I am, but senior center?
What would you like to know about the senior center, sir?
I didn't understand the drawing, what you're trying to accomplish with the drawing.
Oh, that was from several weeks ago. That's the parking lot in the back of the building.
Is it an expansion?
It's an addition.
Addition, good, okay. All right, I'll get with you later.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
I think that was during the time of your surgery, sir.
all right, thank you.
All right, Hurricane Helene. The city of St. Mary suffered. 90% of the city was without power. 17 of our 75 lift stations were down. Generators and bypass pumps were deployed. We had 15 trees that were down in the roadway, across driveways, that were wrapped up in power lines. But we had a whole bunch more trees. Our debris removal contractor, as of Saturday evening, has removed 3,351.9 cubic yards of debris so far. That's as of Saturday night. They continue, they've worked all through the weekend, and they will continue through until Wednesday evening, depending on the weather and how the storm plays out. If we start seeing winds come in, that may be the only thing that prevents them from working through Wednesday. The GMA generator grant that we started pursuing in 2017, that we recently were awarded, just as a reminder for council, was for 4 100 kW portable generators with switch gears at a cost of $85,000 apiece. We also have 4 48 kW generators to include switch gears at a cost of $50,000 each, and 1 fixed 250 kW generator with switch gear for $250,000. Those generators, sir?
Sorry, finish up, I'm sorry.
Okay. Those generators are going through the process of procurement. These are federal funds coming down from FEMA to GEMA and out to the public. If you remember back in 2017, we'd had several emergencies. The way the generator grant works is you put in for it. When monies are not spent for disasters, i.e. by GEMA, that there's money allocated through FEMA, that money is put into a pot, and when they can do a generator grant, they open it up. We have been awarded, and those, we're going through that process.
Is there a match? I mean, or it says
Oh.
100%?
Yes.
You remember how much?
Yes.
There is a match.
30%, but then that was
That's
on
good.
17 prices, not current prices.
Right. Okay. Yes, sir.
We purchased some generators for the lift stations and that. Either
Yes, sir.
last year or
We
year.
currently have some generators and a
I
couple
was
of,
wondering how many. Do you know by chance?
2 current.
2 currently?
2 generators.
And did we put any in the budget this year? I thought we did.
No, sir.
No?
No, sir, because of the grant.
Something else, okay.
Was that the lift station 13?
I'm sorry.
Was it lift station 13 or 17?
13 and 15 are where we're doing the force main increase. And there's work there. We're improving several of our lift stations currently. Lift station 1 and 1B, am I right? Did I say that right? Lift station 1 and 1B, which is back over in this area, we are actually increasing the size of the pumps and the motors there currently. And there's also work at 13 and 15, and there's several of our lift stations are being reworked.
Okay, and then just to clarify, most of those funds came from the American Rescue Plan?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, let's talk about Hurricane Milton. I'm going to turn sideways so the citizens can see. Everybody's been watching the news, I know. If you're not, please do. Because currently Hurricane Milton is forecasted to make landfall sometime Wednesday evening in the area of Tampa Bay as a Category 3. Currently, it has gone from a Category 1 to a Category 5 in 6 hours this morning. Okay, it has intensified very quickly, and it's beginning its track. St. Mary's is forecasted to start feeling tropical force winds sometime Wednesday midday. We can expect 30 to 40 mile an hour winds, around 5 inches of rain through the event, and the possible storm surge of 2 to 5 feet at the waterfront. Sandbag operations are underway and have been all day today, and will be again tomorrow from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. It has been on our Facebook and on our website. Additional generators have already been ordered through GEMA. Fueling and servicing of equipment to be ready for the storm is well underway, and we'll be wrapping that up probably sometime tomorrow. Folks, please stay tuned to trusted weather sources and the National Hurricane Center in the upcoming days for the latest weather developments, as well as Camden County EMA and the City of St. Mary's website and Facebook pages as the storm progresses. Council, I provided you with a map that's got all kinds of pretty colors. The reason I wanted to show that to you, and I'll be happy to let this pass around, it shows the tropical force winds. It's going to reach well above us to the point that it's going to get real close to Macon with tropical force winds. So they're very, very concerned with it and watching it. I'm not a meteorologist by no shape or imagination, but it's very concerning. Okay. That concludes that part of that. At our last council meeting, council tasked me with a directive to work on a travel and training policy. I have done that, and I have provided that to council. Do you want me to read it? So,
I think we have it for consideration, and at the next council meeting, we can discuss it. Unless you want to do it now, that's fine.
You don't do whatever you want.
Following up with the storm update, I'm okay kicking it to the next meeting unless we want to go ahead and hash it out now.
I've provided, and that's where I am.
We can line item it, so it's on the agenda if you want to do that.
That'd be good.
Okay?
All right, thank you. We'll do that if you remind the clerk. We got-
I'll have it for the next council.
Now, if you're good,
All right, I'll
anything
get
else you
there.
want to elaborate
I've
on?
got another 36-hour mission ahead of me, so yeah, I'm fine.
All right, so we're going to move the granting audience to the public, and again, I ask you to come up and give your name and address, and respect the 5-minute time limit. Thank you.
Larry White, 102 Sylvia's Court. I'd like to give a shout out to the Public Works workers that worked at the Public Works facility. Before our last hurricane, I went to get some sandbags, and they were kind enough to help load them into my car for me, so I wouldn't have to do it myself. Today, I went to the Public Works Department and got more sandbags, and perchance it was only like at 12:15 this afternoon, and I can't remember the gentleman's name, but he's one of the Public Works workers that cut his lunch hour short so he could come out and help load this one woman's car and load my car with sandbags. So a big shout out to the Public Works Department for helping the senior citizens. And if you haven't noticed, I am a senior citizen. No. The other person I'd like to give a big shout out to is Tom Canning, because him and his volunteer group ran the candidate forum for the city of St. Mary's and for several other. They also ran it for Kingsland and for the county. He ran it, but he deserves a big shout out for the job he did and providing the information to the voters. And if you haven't registered to vote, you're late. Today was the last day to register to vote in the state of Georgia. So hopefully you've already registered to vote. Make sure you vote. The last thing I want to mention, I was not opposed to the memorandum of understanding for the Gateway Property Group. If you listen to what I said is in the memorandum of understanding, if it's not brought up within 90 days before it expires, then it automatically renews. So it's either up to the developer or the city of St. Mary's to bring it up to the city council. So I think the city manager ought to put on his calendar before the expiration of that MOU that you bring it up again. Otherwise, it's going to automatically renew. And maybe you want it to do it that way. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, council members. My name is Kathy Herzl, and I live at 101 Grouper Way, St. Mary's. As we focus on ways to build a stronger, more sustainable community, I'm here to request your support for funding a small-scale community garden in St. Mary's. This garden will not only serve as a local resource for fresh produce, but also as a platform to engage residents in sustainable practices and environmental stewardship. I believe that with an initial investment from the city in the form of land use, we can create a space that brings people together, fosters community involvement, and sets the stage for future eco-friendly initiatives like composting. This small step can make a big impact on enhancing our community's well-being. Thank you for considering this request. I look forward to your support.
Thank you. Beautiful.
I'm not supposed to, I'll come back to you at the end of the grant
Okay.
audience. To the public, I've got a question for you. Thank you. Who's next? Yes, ma'am.
Kelly Stofflet, 84 Oyster Cove.
What is your name again?
Kelly Stofflet. I'm on the Board of Elections, and I just want to announce to everyone
Thank you.
that early voting starts on Tuesday, October 15th.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now, I have to talk to you afterwards, sorry.
Sorry.
So tempted. Yes, sir.
Bert Seals, 860 Riverview Drive. I want to add on to what Mr. White said in terms of Mr. Tom Cannon. I'm hoping that we will provide a space for him to do his forums at the new City Hall, because I think it'd be nice to have that done. I told him I was going to mention that to you guys. So keep that in mind. Thank you.
Okay. Kelly, excuse me, Kathy, excuse me. Just, can you come up and talk about, on the community garden, do you have a committee already, a small group of people?
No, I don't.
Just starting this up?
Just starting it up.
Would you want her to work with Mr. Williams on this? Okay, if you could get your information to Mr. Williams, and he can
Okay.
talk a little bit about how things work when the meeting's over,
Okay.
that'd be great. Kelly,
Yes.
you can stay there. Voting is 7:30,
Yes.
right? Not 7 o'clock.
For the early voting.
Yeah, for early voting, it's 7:30 and till 5:30. And then
First week.
there's a,
Oh,
and that, is it Saturday?
She'll need to come to the
Every
mic. They
Saturday,
can't hear you.
or? Just so while we got people there, we have a lot of people online, so we can
Right.
get,
Let me pull up the actual dates so I don't mess anything up. Saturday, October 19th, and Saturday, October 26th,
and there was one Sunday.
and Sunday, October 20th. That Sunday is from 1 to 5 at the annex only.
Okay, good. All right, folks, you heard it, fresh from here. It's great. All right. Thank you very much, both of you. Appreciate it. All right, so we are down to asking our city clerk to give us a calendar review.
Yes, sir. On Tuesday, October 8th at 5:30 PM here in council chambers, the planning commission meeting. On Thursday, October 10th at 9:30 AM in the Main Street office. They have moved from council chambers to the Main Street office. It's the Orange Hall Management Committee meeting. Also on Thursday, October 10th at 5 o'clock PM in the Main Street office is the St. Mary's Intercoastal Gateway meeting. On Friday, October 11th at 9 o'clock is St. Mary's Municipal Court trials, followed by the 11 o'clock plea and arraignments. On Monday, October the 14th at 8:30 AM in the Main Street office is the Downtown Development Authority meeting. And on Thursday, October the 17th, we have at 5 o'clock PM here in council chambers, the master plan update, followed by the 6 o'clock PM fourth quarter town hall meeting. And on Monday, October the 21st, first at 6 o'clock PM here in council chambers, city council meeting.
Okay, all right. Mr. Jones, we want to start with you for council comments.
Okay, first of all, was that Kathy talking about the garden? I mean, we used to have a community garden, and I had several people from my church ask why we shut it down, because it did provide a lot of good things for a lot of people. Plus, it was a place for people to network and just socialize. So I think that's a great idea. People have been calling me the last couple of days, ever since Milton was pronounced a storm. what are you gonna do about the debris on the side of the road, and you got another storm coming along? Well, I guess common sense would tell you just leave it alone and wait till the storm, Milton pass, and just replenish your pile. There's nothing we can do to stop the storm from coming, and we don't have the manpower to get the debris up before this storm comes upon us. I just want to thank our Public Works Department for the job that they did during the last hurricane, along with St. Mary's PD. I think some of them kind of aggravated me because I was riding around in places when I should have been home, listening to Robbie on the internet. And I also want to give out a shout out for you, Robbie. When people call and want to have questions, I told them that you were given every 2 or 3 hours you were on, letting them know what was going on, what would be happening, and where they could take care of some needs. So I just want to thank everybody for that and let them know to be safe. We haven't had any major hurricanes to hit our area, but please don't take this one for granted. I went to Valdosta to a football game, when was it, Saturday, and it was devastating from Homerville. Well, Waycross was torn up too, but Homerville and Valdosta, trees and just crushing houses, and it can be this way here. So let's take every precaution and don't do anything that's crazy, because we can't control Mother Nature. But again, Robbie, Chief, and Bobby, let's repeat what we did for the last hurricane.
Fire two.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, sir. I'm sorry I didn't mean to leave you out. You're the most important person.
Oh, man. I think
I'm getting old. I need rescuing.
I think you're just going sideways with this.
Artie just about took everything, that I was going to say. I tell you, the way the city of St. Mary's worked in this per se bad time of the year with a small catastrophe in our area, thank the Lord. To my knowledge, we didn't have anybody die, and that's huge. And thank the Lord that everybody was safe, coming through this thing. But the way that Public Works did, and our police department and our fire department, all of our departments did, they were just totally awesome. And I remember the last time we had a storm come across state of Florida from the bend there. It wasn't very good for us. Matter of fact, it was only a tropical storm, and it messed up Cal's marina pretty bad. Matter of fact, it tore up the whole gosh dog it thing. So I certainly don't want to take this storm that we're dealing with lightly. To be honest with you, I sure hope it doesn't shift north more, and that we're in the huge cone of concern. But hopefully after this one comes through, we're done for the year. It wouldn't hurt my feelings any to see that. But I want to say thank you to the people that come here every time we have a city council meeting. And if you're not here, what's...
I just have a comment to make, real quick.
Sure.
About all the brush that's on the streets, is there a way that we could maybe have somebody like a farmer or something that uses compost? Is there a way to put that information out to the community where they could pick it up? A lot of people complain about it, but isn't there a way we could maybe get somebody who's like locally to pick it up for a farm or a compost?
Go ahead, Rob.
Okay, can we Can we move this to after the meeting, if you would?
Yeah, I'm just curious to know if something like that's ever been thought of.
Yes.
Thank you. All right.
But, hey, that's about it. That's about all I got. But I tell you something, thank y'all so very much for everything y'all did. Y'all worked together, and, you probably had some restless nights, and, I know Bobby probably did, and our police chief, everybody, our fire department, the whole 9 yards. Thank y'all so much, and, Robbie and everybody, we appreciate you. Thank you. Appreciate you too.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So going back to the storm, I feel like our city did a great job. With storm cleanup, information to the public, all the way around. I personally was disappointed my power was out for 4 days, and I know some people didn't have a power outage. Some got it back on sooner, and some had it out longer. So it's a miserable experience not having power for 4 days, but it could have been worse. And it was really eye-opening when I took a trip to a different football game this past Saturday, and I went up to Athens. As soon as I got on State Road 15, and if you've ever driven that, it's rural Georgia. There's a lot of rural towns, on that route, about 2 hours to Athens once you get on State Road 15. There were trees down everywhere. We had power trucks and bucket trucks restoring power. They had the DOT still there just trying to make sure the roads were safe to travel because there was trees hanging over the roads still this much later. I think I drove over at least 4 power lines that they just had leaving in the road on State Road 15. So those people do not have power. I probably saw at least 15 trees still on top of power lines. So our response, though we feel it could have been better, it was great. And I just want to be thankful and just remind everybody we're blessed and we had a great response. And, while it wasn't comfortable, it was still could have been a lot worse. So just thanks to everybody involved in our response here in Southeast Georgia. So thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, there's, I echo all those comments on the storms. Our city staff did just a tremendous job, and this storm was well taken care of, and here they are. They haven't even got a chance to get rested up from that storm, and we're facing another one. It's the time of the year. And I'm going to use a personal example of why it's important that you not ignore one of these storms. My youngest daughter lives up in Swannanoa, which is right next door to Asheville, North Carolina. They haven't seen a storm in 100 years, anything to match that where they had any flooding. She's now at our house working from home, her old home, as it is, but she's not going to have water up at her house for another month, probably. Electricity was supposed to come on today. So those people up there are hurting, and many of them didn't take the storm seriously, and they're hurting more than they would have. So it really is an important thing for us to pay attention to the warnings, listen to what has to be done, so we don't have to face that. She's lucky she was able to get through the storm with her house fine, but it's not much good if there's no power, no water. So another thing I wanted to mention is the stormwater presentation. I don't know how many of you got an opportunity to listen to that tonight, but I thought it was an excellent presentation. Gave our citizens a superb opportunity to learn why what we do with that stormwater ordinance and those type things are so important to the city, and it managed to save us money now in our flood insurance. And we've got that CRS rating down at 6, and that's important. By the way, if you weren't able to attend the meeting earlier, I understand that it's been recorded and it's on the website, so encourage you to take a look at it. And our Community Development Director did just an excellent job on presenting that, so thank you. And that's not the last thing I had here. The Seafair Memorial, I was really pleased to see that we could get that approved conceptually here this evening, because I think that'll be an important thing, and for the city to have that memorial down at right on the waterfront, overlooking the marsh, and for people to go there, especially people that have lost a family member or a friend at sea like that. So appreciate it. Thank you. That's my comments.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to echo what everyone else said. I do want to, right after Helene went through, Chief Galloway, Chief Lackner, Angela Wigger, Bobby, okay, pretty much the whole entire contingent, and Bobby and Robbie and Charlie, and it was the wise words of the Chief Galloway that echoed to me that can we postpone the festival? And I was right on board with that because I lived in my house for 90 hours with a wife and 3 daughters, and they were champions. They didn't complain much, but you know what? Thanks to the hard work of Candace and Angela and all them, we've and its department heads, we're moving the festival from this last Saturday to Saturday, November 16th. So hopefully after this storm, we'll have everything cleaned up so we can have a festival. And but it takes teamwork and communication, and we're very blessed in our community. And by the way, I love the garden idea. And anyways, that's all I have.
Yes, ma'am.
Wonderful. First of all, the food program. That's a great idea. I do think you need to make sure that the nutritional value of the seniors is met. There's an opportunity to expand that, because I really think that it would be nice for the seniors to be able to interact with students, and there are other cities where they actually have the meals with the students, and I think that creates a great social opportunity. So that's just something to think about.
Good idea.
Yeah, because you're taking care of a lot of things, food insecurity, healthy meals, and it's very innovative thinking, so thank you. Again, I just want to touch on the fact that it's really important for us as a city that we have projects in which we're going to help to broaden our tax base, and as well as our tourism. And I want to thank the citizens that did, speak up and voice their concerns. I think it's our job to listen. We have, we work in 2 areas here as elected officials. One is we're advocates, and then on the other hand, we're also trustees. And when we act as a trustee, we may have information that you don't have, and sometimes we may have to make decisions based off of information that for whatever reason you may not have. But with that said, we could always do a better job of making sure that we keep you all informed. So I think that the discussion around that project may have been avoided. We can always do a better job of communicating better. This memorial is, in my opinion, a true representation of community. Those family members are not here, but I do want to thank them for trusting us with that project. And I see that as something that could be a legacy for those young men, because others that may fall, unfortunately, we don't want to have others, but that's an opportunity to identify others, maybe not loss of life, maybe other types of heroes in that situation. The community garden, anytime there's no grocery store within a mile and there's more than a population of more than 500, it's considered a food desert. And believe it or not, we actually have food deserts in St. Mary's and in Camden County in some of our, what we might consider a wealthier community. So Cumberland Harbor, for example, is in a food desert. So that's something to consider. So thank you very much for bringing that opportunity to work on something within the community. As far as the storm goes, I think we all know that we kind of missed, we dodged a bullet with that one. But please make sure that you're prepared and ready for this next storm. And I'm sure that we have some key learnings from this last storm that we'll be able to apply as a city, I'm sure. So thank them for everything that they did do during that time. That didn't come out right. Thank you guys for everything that you did, not that you did do. That wasn't meant to be a negative thing. Thank you for all the work during that time, because I know many people that worked for 30 hours straight and without a break. So thank you guys for that. I'm sure I'm forgetting something, but that's just due to old age. Thank you all for being here, and hope everybody has a great rest of their week.
Okay. Very quickly, with what's coming, everyone, please be safe. And we will do our utmost to make sure that you're all as protected as we can make it possible. And so, thanks for that. You heard about the Seafood Festival. Thank you for the date. That was really outstanding to be able to respond that quickly for that project. And finally, you'll always hear it from us. October 15th is the start of early voting, and voting day is November 5th. So, anyhow, I'm sure they will welcome you at the voting booths. All right. And I would also encourage you, if you've never worked at a precinct, please consider working at a precinct and let the election committee know about that. I did it in North Kingston for a long time. It was a lot of fun. You see the same faces every year, and they really care about their community and go there to vote. So, all right. And with that, could I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second. All right. Mr. Ingram and a second from Mr. Jones. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Madam Clerk, that's unanimous.
Yes, sir.
Thank you all. Hey, tell everybody thank you for my koozie. That's it.
T-shirt can and make koozies. When I realized I carried this bag and I still had some left. Well, thanks.